The Widow's Hand. The town of Black Hollow had always been a place of whispers, tucked between skeletal pines and a river that ran black with silt. Its people spoke in hushed tones of the old mill, the abandoned church, and the woods that seemed to breathe at night. But no story chilled the blood quite like the tale of the Widow's Hand. It began with Clara Voss. She'd returned to Black Hollow after her grandmother's death to settle the estate. A crumbling Victorian house at the edge of the woods. The townsfolk warned her not to stay past sundown. They said, "The widow walks when the moon's thin," avoiding her eyes. Clara dismissed it as superstition. She was a woman of logic, a photographer from the city. Ghost stories didn't frighten her. But on her first night she heard it, a faint scratching at the back door, like fingernails dragging across iron. When she opened it, nothing was there, just the woods, still and watchful. The next night it came again. This time she followed the sound, her flashlight cutting through the mist. At the tree line she found a child's locket half buried in the dirt. Its chain snapped. Her grandmother's initials were etched inside. That's when the dream started. In them, Clara stood in the woods, her bare feet sinking into cold mud. A woman in a tattered black dress knelt ahead, her back turned, her hair a curtain of rot. She was digging, deeper, deeper, until her hands came back red. "Find them," the woman hissed, her voice like wet stones grinding. "Find them, or I'll take yours." Clara woke each night at 3:07 a.m., her sheets damp, her left hand numb. By the third day, a rash had spread up her wrist, a perfect handprint, bruise purple and ice-cold to the touch. Desperate, she visited the town's lone librarian, Mr. Hargrave, whose family had chronicled Black Hollow's history since the 1800s. He paled when she showed him the mark. "The widow's hand," he muttered. "She was a mother once. Lost her husband and 3 sons when the mill burned in 32. They say she clawed at the earth for days trying to bury them until her fingers wore to bone. Now she wanders, grafting her curse onto others. You've got till the new moon to find what she's lost, or she'll take your hands, your voice, your face." Clara's search led her to the ruins of the mill. Beneath collapsed beams, she uncovered a rusted box containing 3 tiny bones, a child's finger joints, and a wedding ring engraved, Elias, the widow's family. But as the moon waned, the cold seeped deeper. Her hand turned gray, fingers stiffening as if rigor mortis were creeping upward. On the final night, Clara returned to the woods, the bones and ring in a velvet pouch. The air thickened and the scratching became a cacophony, 100 skeletal fingers raking the trees. The widow emerged, her face a shifting void, her hands raw and skeletal. Clara thrust the relics forward. "They're here. Let me go." The widow's head tilted. For a moment the void flickered, a glimpse of a woman's grief-stricken face. Then she lunged, her fingers plunging into Clara's chest. Not to harm, but to grasp. Clara's vision blurred as memories not her own flooded in. The mill's flames, small bodies in the smoke, a mother's scream that never ended. When Clara awoke at dawn, the handprint was gone. So was the pouch. She fled Black Hollow that morning, convinced it was over. But in her rearview mirror, the woods seemed to ripple, a shadowy figure waving slowly. That night, in her apartment 3 states away, Clara heard it again, scratching at the door. Her reflection in the bathroom mirror smiled, her eyes voids, her hands stained with grave dirt. In Black Hollow, new rumors stir. They say the widow finally found her rest because she found a new vessel. And in the woods, fresh graves wait, their earth soft, as if recently turned by a grieving hand.